In honor of Halloween, the month of the spookiness, I decided what I would do is I would delve into the world of Warhammer 40,000 and come up with, I consider to be, the top 5 most terrifying things about Warhammer 40k. This should be a fun, informative video, not too serious, but I would also love to hear from you guys down in the comments is if you have any alternative things that you think are absolutely terrifying in the 41st millennium, and we can dive into it. I'm super excited to hear what you guys have to say. Before I get into the video, I just want to say, as always, a huge thank you to all of my active patrons and all of the new patrons that have joined this month. Obviously, we have done a large revamp on Patreon, and we have never offered more for less ever. Extra videos every single month, every single week, sorry. We've got extra Patreon podcasts, we have painting competitions, we have all sorts of crazy stuff are going on there. So if you want to check that out, we will leave it linked down below. One of the coolest things we are doing now is extra Patreon giveaways. For instance, this month we are giving away a Knight Questoros. If you want to be in with a chance of winning that, all you have to do is be signed up to the Patreon at any paid tier, and you have a chance. Without further ado, let's dive in and talk about the most terrifying things in Warhammer 40k. Okay, number 1 up on our list is the Sloth. The Sloth are also known as the Maggot Men, Dream Eaters, and the Carrion Lords, whose bodies and minds are completely alien to humanity. Their roughly humanoid form stands roughly as large as 3 meters in height. This body has hundreds of writhing maggot-like worms covered in viscous, necrotic mucus. These traits allow them to stretch and reform their bodies at will, whilst allowing them to move with an obscene boneless fluidity, along with capacity to regenerate at startling speed. Sloth are impervious to age, disease, poison, and are vulnerable to only the most extreme of injuries. Their alien minds are coldly savage, and their psychic voids filled with monstrous hunger for the dead. They are able to produce necrotic fluids from their body tissues, consisting of flesh-eating bacteria and molecular acids able to liquefy flesh and even burn through metal. The strange technology of the Sloth, combined with their unusual appearance, has led many to mistakenly believe them to be demonic beings. They are one of Xenos that conceal their true selves and walk among mankind as if they were humans themselves. They are known to be ageless and patient race with a psyche that is incomprehensible to human mind, though they do share one characteristic that others can understand, namely an addictive hunger. Above all other kinds, the Sloth crave the dead flesh of other sentient beings, with a particular fetish for consuming cranial matter, which gives them a narcotic experience. Okay, number 2 on this list actually kind of collates with number 1 on this list. Number 2 is the Rangdan. They were violent and powerful Xeno species encountered by the Imperium during the Great Crusade. They are allegedly originated from a homeworld in the same name. The Rangdan were first encountered by the 105th Pioneer Company of the 5th Legion of the Northern Rim of the Galaxy and were recognized as a grave threat and engaged by the 1st Legion of the Astartes. During the Rangdan Xenocide, the Rangdan invaded from the galactic north and east in the bloodiest war for the Imperium until the Horus Heresy. The Rangdan were halted at great cost to the Imperium and the Dark Angels especially. The Imperium later claimed that they had purged the entire species and their home system in the 3rd Rangdan Xenocide. Now I just want to tag on a little bit more information about this particular conflict. So, the Dark Angels sustained heavy casualties from the Hurud during the 3rd Rangdan Xenocide and other conflicts, and some sources claiming a loss of as many as 50,000 Space Marines in a single battle against these aliens. During the Iron Warriors extermination campaign against Hurud, one specific Iron Warriors Grand Company suffered devastating losses due to the Hurud's anthropic fields, which rapidly aged the warriors and their equipment to dust, leaving very few survivors. The Hurud's anthropic weapons cause permanent aging, turning flesh to dust and metal to rust. Their other weapons can cause victims' bodies to fail in impossible ways, resulting in immense, often fatal casualties. Now, how does this tie in with the Sloth? The Rangdan were described as possessing Sloth murder minds, suggesting they may have been a slave species to the Sloth species. Indeed, the sloth have been seen following the wake of the Rangdan, harvesting the dead and any survivors they come across. The Rangdan were feared for their mimicry abilities, and their ships had a brutal appearance of spines and flails, which drag behind the vessels like metallic tentacles, giving them the appearance of jellyfish. Their elite warriors were said to be the match of a space marine in combat, wielding weaponry perhaps even superior to the Imperium, and protected by personal energy shielding. Their preferred tactic was to use vast legions of slave armies and send them against the foe, exhausting them until selecting the right moment to place their strike. So the Rangdan to me has always been one of the most terrifying things in the lore and the background. The First Legion, the Dark Angels, at the height of their power, confidently bulldozing their way through the kind of galaxy and growing the Imperium, crashes straight into Rangdan space and loses nearly half their legion, for the first time having to call in aid and bring in the Iron Warriors to help solve the problem, which in turn cost them to lose quite a lot of Marines as well. If that's not terrifying, I don't know what is. Number 3 on this list is the Cryptos. The strange and sinister Xenos race known to the Inquisition as the Cryptos comes from the cold darkness of the interstellar void, where it can scarcely be conceived that anything could live. Without solid physical form, they appear as strange gaseous clouds tinted with an eerie greenish glow and filled with maddening half-formed shapes. They are able to pass through solid matter and even through the hulls of star vessels, and far more dangerously, they have the power to take living human bodies as hosts in order to fulfill their inscrutable aims. The Cryptos are cold and mysterious species whose desires and thoughts remain hidden from others and possess an implacable and patient intelligence. Mankind in human flesh, they walk amongst mankind and secretly infest communities, twisting them until they are completely under their domain. They treat humans with utter disdain, and a callous disregard for those seemingly immortal creatures carry themselves as fallen gods, fleeing something greater and more terrible yet. And mankind is to them no more than cattle, to be used and disposed of at their will. The Cryptos are rare and utterly insidious threat, and though no cities have burned in their names nor have they raised armies against the dominion of the God Emperor, they are the manifestation of why the alien is loathed and mistrusted in all its forms by the Imperium of Man. Number 4 on this list is not so much a single entity, but a kind of economic concept which is just gross. And that is, of course, corpse starch. Corpse starch is a synthetic food source created from the recycled human dead of the hive cities on many of the hive worlds of the Imperium of Man. Necromunda is one of the hive worlds where this practice is most prevalent. On Necromunda, the Corpse Guild regulates the trade and production of corpse starch. This is one of the most important roles of all the great guilds of Necromunda, as millions of people are born and die each solar day on the hive world. Without the orderly disposal of their corpses, plagues and disease would run rampant across the hive world. Without the food source these corpses provide when rendered down in the great corpse grinder plants that dominate entire sectors in every hive city, the population would starve. The Corpse Guild gathers up thousands of dead each cycle, filling their mortuary caverns with piled bodies or rendering them down into mobile grinding automata. Few other of the Necromunda guilds have ever challenged the power of the Corpse Guild, for the power of death hangs heavy upon them, and humans, even on worlds such as Necromunda, cling to their ancient superstitions. Some Necromundans believe it is bad luck to even look upon the face of a corpse grinder, and when word reaches the Necromunda settlement of their approach, the guild often arrives to find every door and window shut tight and only bodies laid out neatly on the streets to greet them. Number 5. I thought long and hard about what this should be, and in the end, for me, there was really only one choice. The thing that I think is the most terrifying in the Warhammer 40k lore, at least the thing that I think is the coolest / most terrifying, and that is the Night Lords. There are many dread creatures that dwell in the swirling eddies of the Eye of Terror. Terrible demons and horrific monsters vie with cruel pirates and vile Xenos to spread death and destruction throughout the realm and nearby Imperial holdings. Yet, few amongst these are as feared as the Chaos Space Marines of the Night Lord's Traitor Legion. Since before the Horus Heresy, this legion has perfected the craft of sowing terror, discord, and confusion amongst its victims, and its corrupted Astartes have become even more sadistic and depraved as the long-turned centuries have passed. The Night Lords are sadistic killers who delight in terrorizing their foes before slaughtering them without mercy or restraint. They are cruel, ruthless, and opportunistic, frequently striking at vulnerable targets and toying with their unfortunate victims. When the Night Lord kills, they kill violently and slowly, savouring the pain and horror on their victims' faces as the last moments of life leave them. Such acts are not undertaken in honour of the Chaos Gods. Rather, a Night Lord kills simply because he can. Certainly, there may be other motives behind his actions, but more often than not, that motive is only to wet his gauntlets in the blood of his victims. The Night Lords are veterans of countless campaigns of terror and conquest. Each member of the Legion is highly trained and proficient in the use of terror tactics, psychological warfare, and lightning raids, and ambushes intended to leave their opponents completely demoralised and easy targets for the depraved heretic Astartes of this legion. The Night Lords frequently operate as mercenaries for renegade warband and other pirate raiders, selling their skills to the highest bidder in return for plunder and the chance to pick the choice targets that most appeal to their sadistic tendencies. Okay guys, and there we have it, what I consider to be 5 of the most terrifying things that exist in Warhammer 40,000. I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions on those lists down below. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to do all those glorious things. Give the video a like I said, get involved in the comment section. Let me know what scares you the most, and make sure you're subscribed. Those 3 things cost you nothing, but they make a huge difference as to how quickly this channel grows and how many people see this video. Thank you so much guys for sticking around to the end. I'll see you in the next one.
Happy Halloween!